I've set up my driver, set up my liveries, and just started getting into the my team mode, which I think is probably the coolest bit as someone who really hasn't done a lot of F1 racing before. Um, so I'm Gretel D because you have to give a last name and you can't put in punctuation. My abbreviation is GUD as in get good. And I'm racing as part of Gretel Uber Developments. And I've just basically gotten the customization stuff out. So I went with the short season length, in particular because I will be racing in casual mode. Um, I think I've dismissed most of the tutorials, but one of the things that's cool about my team versus even the career mode is you're actually like managing a car. And I'm so early in the season, like my car won't even be revealed and show here until well, yeah, there we go. There it is in the garage. But anyway, uh, you have skill trees that you can level up. Um, you have R&D to manage. Because I've already gone through the first conversation as a team, I kind of prioritized durability the way I was talking about it, secondarily the powertrain. Um, and I've got development in progress for my chassis, specifically the rear floor under tray. Before I put this into development, it told me that there's actually a 40% chance of failure. But anyway, the cool thing about the My Team mode is you can see on the right, you actually have to manage over the course of a season, like the quality of your car and your gear, the contract costs, like myself versus my teammate. So I'm both an owner and a driver on my team. Um, yeah, and the morale modifier for chassis, you can see there sideways, it says build time unaffected, failure chance unaffected. So because of how I handled that very first interview prior to even the first race in the team mode, um, right. So to put this whole thing in development, this specific, the rear floor under tray, the minor weight redistribution required 100 of or 500 of my resource points, which is in the upper right. That's what I'll be getting when I start playing this, and yeah, when I go through the various training modes and sims and whatnot. So I'm excited to get into that. Um, yeah, more symmetrical weight distribution of the rear floor under tray while maintaining its rigidity, and that won't be available until the 20th of March. It's in progress but not done yet. Ooh, performance table. Okay, yep. And yeah, I chose this particular upgrade because it's what it recommended, but if we go into hopefully something that I've talked up, like aerodynamics, I haven't talked up at all, but and I don't have anything in progress, but I apparently got a couple. My front wing and secondary wing flaps have minor improvements, and the farther you go out into this, what I've heard other people call the sphere grid, um, the more powerful and more expensive the upgrades will be. And yeah, and when you're choosing to develop a given upgrade, you can develop it in the standard way for a certain amount of resource points or in rush. I'm early enough in this mode that I can't yet do rush development, and I'm sure it has an impact on failure chance and whatnot. But because I only have one thing in development right now, and resource points are basically kind of a management currency, I don't think I'm going to put anything else in development, so we won't be able to see the morale benefits, if any exist right now. Oh, cool. Part impact key. Yeah, okay. Checks out. Um, oh, right, except we can actually see these modifiers in terms of the smaller smaller icons next to powertrain. There's 3 icons lit. For durability, there's 2. Okay, so huh. So it says at the top, okay, morale modifier, build time unaffected, failure chance unaffected. I don't know. Yeah, this may be actually just related to who I chose as part of my team setup. Let's see how much of this I can walk back. So yeah, so um, yeah, my actual power unit supplier, which I believe, I don't know how that's different from engine manufacturer. I went with Renault just because I'm a big Nissan fan, not from a racing perspective, but I drive it, and it's Nissan Renault is the manufacturer. So Overview. Okay, so I can't back into kind of how I've done the setup for my team, really. These are both I think paid things. Oh, okay. So this is just my online rep. So yeah, F1 as an online racer, as a multiplayer online competitive thing, they do both skill rating and safety rating. Safety rating is the big thing that keeps this from being just, hey, I want to be a troll and screw up like the most professional racers I can. And attendance rating is how reliable you are in terms of league attendance. Leagues are just racing games equivalent of guilds. I don't think I'm going to get too into that. Trophy cabinet. So yeah, obviously I haven't dispensed with all the tutorial modes, but there's a decent amount of stuff here, and this game looks just crunchy enough for me to want to enjoy some of the solo play, which is why I'm recording this whole thing about the My Team mode that exists in F1 2020. So, I have not done anything. Hey, I can attend the hell out of things, but anyway. Trophy cabinet's empty. My stats, I haven't done anything. Cool. Um, so, I can advance time, which just pushes forward, quote unquote, the season calendar and gets us closer to the race day. The first race will be on March 19th, as we can see on the calendar there. And I do have something in development with R&D. Now I think where I'd left off prior to starting this recording was just going through the 6 different facilities. Yeah, I haven't really dipped into whether I want to invest in any facilities right now. And there's, let's see. Oh yeah, the actual vehicle configuration. Corporate management. Hey, cool, I can do nothing here, but that's fine for right now. What I can show here is that my sponsor, I don't know what its name is, but I got like 4.3 million, which was initially invested right out the gate in terms of picking a power unit supplier as well as my teammate. And I can probably pull that up by looking at contract or the driver market. Oh, finance history maybe.
This is the driver market. From here, you can see pertinent details on each driver in the sport.
Oh.
Compare them with each other and add them to your watch list. When the contract negotiation window rolls around, this is where you will approach any drivers you wish to hire.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'll only ever have one other driver in the race, and I chose it. You can see at the bottom there, Tatiana Calderon. All drivers have stats. How do I get to my existing driver? Do I have to just hit the bottom of this list? Can't even do that. Anyway, contracts. There you go. You can see the stats that exist for my existing teammate. Rating is a summary of their overall stats. Then experience is just their ability to race good. The initial drivers that I had to pick from weren't especially that fascinating. The race stat is basically just how good they are at choosing to overtake when on a straightaway. So the overall experience is just how well they know the tracks, like just how good they're going to run around, like drive the cars that we give them in general. Awareness is avoiding penalties and accidents, and pacing. Pacing is, well, I don't know I can't recall the difference between race and pacing. Let's see. Okay, so this tutorial is just about the contract screen, and it's like you actually can tweak the amount that you pay your teammate, which will, and also invest in myself. I can buy perks, special modifiers, feats basically in gamer speak, but Yeah, so I'll be able to keep track of other drivers. If I hire more than just the one other teammate driver, who just has a market value of $1 million right now, I can see. Um, and dang, I uh, at least I'm doing better than that guy. Um, but anyway, uh, yeah, there's a total prestige thing for how well your brand does over time. In addition, which is like the acclaim column there. Market value is just like the rating of the skill of the driver. Um, buyout, yeah. So, oh, yep. Is there someone who can be bought out? Nope. Okay, it's just a difference in the salary. Um, but oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can like buy out the remainder of their contract with a competing team to try and sign them for your team. So, yeah, so market value is basically the sum of salary and buyout. Okay, cool. Got it. Got it. And yeah, they have real racers here. Like Verstappen is actually a racer in the 2020 season. He's raced before. I recognize the name because I have seen exactly two episodes of the F1 series on Netflix. But anyway, gotta manage my expenses. We will. Yeah, the signing bonus was the 4.2 million that we had coming in by taking on that sponsor whose name I can't pronounce, who has the very, very difficult quote unquote goal of just completing a season. And then yeah, the Renault power unit deal cost me 2.7 million, and that driver when I signed her on, as I needed to sign on some driver, cost me 1 million. My options were 3 drivers that cost 1 million and one that cost 750K. So I didn't take top of the bunch, didn't take bottom of the bunch, but finance history, nothing to see here. Customization, I went through all this garbage before. Like, I'm pretty happy with all that setup because it's strictly cosmetic, but I'm not like the default setup, so yeah. So my teammate obviously is wearing team colors because they're cool and we're gonna do cool stuff together. So um, I don't really know what I'm doing yet, so I think I'm just gonna go back and like hop into a race. Yeah. All right. I can autofill activities here, but yeah. Um, this is the big reason why there's a calendar and why you can advance time. Activities earn you various rewards from cash to acclaim, so it's always worth checking if you can do something between race weekends. And right now we're at the start of the season, so I think I'm just going to autofill, especially for this first one. Hey, cool, power and durability focus. Yeah, I'm fine with that emphasis. Although I see that it will hurt my aerodynamics and chassis, so I'll make sure to talk them up next time I get an opportunity to. And by committing to this, we'll have 500 more resource points, I think, as soon as the 3rd or the 4th of March, we'll have to see. And oh yeah, driver training camp isn't until the 7th and 8th, so that'll be the interactive bit. And that's kind of how much management overhead and interesting shenanigans they have baked into this. So actually, if I remove this activity, would I be able to put it back together? I'm going to check that out. So we're not going to affect second driver statistics with this activity specifically, but okay. So I think got it, got it. So driver training camp was always going to be a commitment. Yeah, okay. So this is kind of priced into the calendar already. There's a driver training camp, and then probably if there were a way for me to scroll the thing on the left, I want to be able to see more of that calendar. Okay, there we go. Okay, so driver training camp was already priced in, and we'd started to see that on the advanced time thing. That's going to start on the 7th and 8th of March. And then there's an aero chassis focus. Those things are already in there. And then with this free time on the calendar prior to the car reveal, yeah, you can see as I scroll down, like it marks stuff red that can't be selected. Okay, got it. So I have at least 6 options. Okay, and that's all right. Yeah, the bar across the top is not a scroll bar. It's just I'm accounting for my time. So let's see, I can sell stuff for cash. I can get more driver resources. Um, we'll see when I figure out how to invest those. Could do an advertising campaign for. Oh, yeah, that's acclaim. Okay, so that's driver-based acclaim, team-based acclaim. So you could do a preseason driver press tour, preseason advertisement campaign, go team GUD. And yeah, otherwise they're pricing in an aerodynamic chassis focus, so it seems really smart to just counterbalance that with power and durability. Yeah, so let's do those things. Yeah, I completely agree. They did not mislead me with that, and then I don't have enough free time there. Yeah, and Grand Prix weekend is March 19th. That's like the first race of the season is still a little under a month out. But yeah, let's just do this and see where it takes us. So I still have some resource points. I'm not going to go any farther with that. I have relatively little money. I'm pressing L3 here. Oh yeah, and that's where it brings up Podium Pass and Super License. So just reputation management slash seasonal XP grind. Podium Pass is their recurring thing, like other online multiplayer games. Everybody has a battle pass. So anyway, I'll be getting rewards for that normally. If I pay for it, I get an additional tier of rewards as well as all the regular stuff. So, balancing act, resource management. Yeah, they're just explaining the UI. Resource points, they help your team upgrade the car. Team's acclaim level, as this increases, so does your income from sponsors. We really want to do that. That's different from the sponsor objective. So, different sponsors, which I can like cross-sign between them. Hopefully not within races, but like between seasons. Yeah, so sponsors give you an initial signing bonus as well as an objective, another bonus if you meet that objective, and weekly income. And both the amount of money you get for meeting your objective as well as the weekly income scales with your acclaim. So you do want to do good stuff because that'll help you hire better second drivers. It'll increase the value of your existing second driver. I don't know yet. I imagine there's an opportunity for your second driver to get bought out from under you by another team, especially if you hire somebody who's a real dirtbag, but we don't do that here at Team GUD, so let's advance time. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, bang. Okay.
We've had the new parts come through from the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Right. Oh, and I have incrementally like 120 more resource points. We got a week's worth of income, as you can see there at the top.
If it were me, this is probably what I'd invest in.
So I'm just taking the recommendation. Yeah. I have no problem whatsoever getting another drag reduction. Yeah, so the interesting thing is like our power unit supplier is Team Renault, which means it's that set of mechanics or whatever who's helping the core, not necessarily the powertrain specifically, but like genuinely more like the hybrid engine, the power unit is what they call it. Yeah, is maintained and developed and enhanced by Renault. They also have their own F1 team, as you can see there on the right. But I want to move up and hopefully like outshine my own power unit supplier as a team. So yeah, let's reduce that drag though. So you can see right now on this screen before I actually commit to developing it that if we're committing to this improvement, it won't be an improvement available on our car for the next race. It'll show up just after the next race, but before the race after that. So, and 40% failure chance. So that's always good to know. Yeah, in general, I know that I want to invest in durability, so I've been trying to do that as well. Yep, let's do this. 23rd of March. That is definitely after the 19th. Cool. Bye-bye, Sphere Grid. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that weight redistribution will come in before the first race, which is good. The aerodynamics is totally out there. And yeah, this is all the lines for all the teams, so hopefully we'll just like shoot up to the top of that performance bar and just never go down because we're a real cool guy. But yeah, I chose to do 10 races, just took the automatic selection, but you can see at the bottom. First race is Bahrain, fourth race is Canada, sixth race is in the UK, and 10th race will be in Brazil because I only know those flags, so. Cool. We're back to advancing time. Let's do this car reveal. I wish I could just have a giant Red Bull sticker on the side of the car. But that's just me, and I don't want to actually race for Team Red Bull, so. Hey there, Trophy. I am a new kids on the block. Onward. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Bang! Alright. So we can mess with the tire allocation. I've never run this track before, but if we go into race weekend, I'm going to try and learn it and see if I can get through this first race without just shitting the bed, so. Oh yeah, a screen that looks like my screen. Oh, I can look around. I'm cool. They should really patch in a VR mode for this, because this would be like real desk job action. So, we can do a practice. I've been told to leave the assists alone. And I've also turned on casual mode because I am a filthy casual. So up to 3 practices take place, qualifying, and then the race. Yeah, so I'm not changing anything here. I just wanted to pop in and make sure that it was what I thought it would be. So, oh, and we've got a message. Weather. Looks like we will have moons every day of the race. A whole lot of moons. Cool. Nice and dry all the way through. So yeah, I mean, we even have an IT director, so we know who to curse at as and when we get hacksorted, so that's cool. Rivalries. Great. Tutorials. You may get asked about another driver in the press, and it's in your best interest to raise your profile with a rivalry. Okay, so I think I really want to troll Team Red Bull, which Verstappen is on, so that'll be fun. Set number of race weekends in a rivalry, and the driver with the highest score at the end will be declared the winner. Well, I mean, according to that one episode of F1 I saw, Red Bull really likes breaking their own cars, so I stand a good chance. Right. I really want to mess them up. Abbreviated name, GUD. But cool. So, man, they even got my helmet in there and it took time to render. I'm awesome. And we can still see this stuff on a race weekend. Just make sure we're doing the right predictions or see vehicle performance like the snapshot in time during a race weekend. And here's how all the stuff is tuned. Can't actually change it now, but they let you review it here, so that's cool. You got your power unit, which, yeah, there's a lot of complexity here, and it's nice. Gearbox, as complicated as you would expect, because gears are actually real things, I hear, word on the street. And then weekend tire allocation. So, F1's interesting. I don't know if this is true of actual competitive F1. Well, I imagine it is to some extent, but at least within F1 2020, there's going to be 13 different compounds, and there will be 3 mandatory ones in a given race weekend. You're required to use one of the mandatory compounds and required to use one non-mandatory compound. And you can alter the preset loadouts to include additional compounds to better match your driving style. I don't know how I drive. Well, I know I drive poorly, but that's not a style. So, the ones with exclamation points are mandatory. So like that Pirelli, well, they're all that, but anyway, that white and yellow one on the right are required. And they actually rotate for each of the practices. Yeah, I think that's right if I'm reading it right across the top. P1, P2, P3, Q1, Q2, Q3. Crazy. But yeah, tires are a big deal. So, that's really cool. I look forward to building a rivalry, and thank you, Jeff, for that wonderful information about the weather. Go! And yeah, this is my first F1 game, and yes, I'm new to, not sim racers, but like all these kind of esport racers. So at the same time, I've kind of been not spoilered, but I watched a stream about some of the complexity of my team, and I like it because RPG mechanics are cool.
Hey boss, this is Jeff. Just wanted to say thanks for trusting me as your race engineer. I won't let you down. The car is ready to go, but it's brand new of course, so there may be a few issues here and there. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the data.
Oh girl. Oh. Those are my hands! But yeah, this would be extremely cool to, oh yeah. Awesome. So yeah, welcome to yet more management. So this is how my team helps a little bit with just doing good stuff. I'm actually running out the clock here, so
qualifying, let's get our track acclimatization program complete.
We have 30 minutes.
It'll help us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit.
Okay, come on. So the goal here is to drive through the gates, and because it's a flying lap, started rolling as opposed to having to do a start. But
Try to nail as many corner gates as you can. The faster you get through each corner, the higher the score.
So this is just teaching me the turns. Okie dokie. Whee! Speaking of the turns. Nope.
Approaching the DRS zone, watch your MFD for the activation point.
trying to hit the gates and not really thinking it out, but yeah.
Let's make sure we're hitting those apexes. Once you're comfortable with the position through the corner, then start building up the speed.
I think in the actual race, I'll still have the racing line, but I won't have these gates to hit through. And if you see where it's like flaring up the red, that's like a dynamic feedback thing telling me whether I'm going too fast or slow for the given turn, so. And yeah, I'm not even monitoring stuff like tire temperature yet, but.
This is the last lap of the program, final lap of the program.
Come on, baby, can I hit them all? Hey, other car. That's cool. Oh, jeez. Factor 5. Oh boy, these apexes.
Over, but that wasn't much help to us. Need it again, I'm afraid.
Right, so I've completed the program, so I got all the resource points I'm going to get for that. Let's go to the gay rage. Oh, wow, yeah, so I failed, but I got some resource points, so that's cool. Track status busy, dang. Whew.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 51.8.
Yeah, so they're giving feedback on all this stuff prior to... Okay, so team objectives. Engineer S. Fuel consumption. Complete a lap while conserving fuel to make use of the recently fitted fuel consumption upgrade. Weight distribution brakes. So, yeah, I think I want to do fuel management and then race strategy. Start with the flying lap. Okay, so here we're genuinely trying to conserve fuel while we run because F1 cares about that too.
In this program, we want you to focus on fuel-saving technique. Lift and coast through corner entry to save as much as you can while keeping under the minimum lap time.
So you see we still have the race line here, but we don't have the gates. So lift and coast generally means take your foot off the gas as you approach turn before you would start braking. I want to be in the purple. That would be ideal, but we also want to get good race times. So that's what makes me a monster here. I'm not going to be a good racer prior to... Yeah, like this first season is going to be a disaster, even on filthy casual mode. But, we're on lap 1 of the program. There's going to be 3 laps total. And this also helps my team understand how I race. Not as much as the race strategy section will, but I'm also getting more practice with the exact track that I'm running this race weekend, so... Whew. You gotta be strong, you gotta be fast. So yeah, the race line is not, like, ideal. There's ways to optimize around it, but in general it's kind of considered the conventional read on how to run this thing. So my fuel consumption's good, but I'll still get feedback about the time in which the time I'm taking to complete these laps, so...
Okay, you weren't quite good enough that lap. Try
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Not good enough. See there, I completely blew the line. And now I have feedback in the upper left about my delta. I think that's with respect to even just the previous terrible lap, so... And I'm still just, like, effectively, that's one of the assists that I have right now is auto gear shifting for me. Like, I know the buttons that I can press to manually gear up and gear down, but right now this is just an acceleration braking steering game for me. I mean, yeah, that tire allocation thing will come in at some point. Like, one of the trainings that I can do that I haven't done yet is tire management, and I might not have time to get to that this race weekend, but these are like some of the ways that I think like my team has a lot more feedback mechanisms about like the Oh, holy shit, my race delta is terrible. But yeah, my team gives far more feedback about what I should be doing to improve as a driver.
That was no good. We need you to improve on that.
Damn. 146. Yeah, so technicality of this is high, but like there's also a lot of encouragement here, so see if I can get good at this at all ever. Like probably not within the scope of this video, but man.
Program complete, program complete. These results will do, although you could definitely do better. Consider giving it another shot.
Oh baby, baby. So yeah, that was getting through the program. Completing programs gives resource points, and all of this is eating against that time I have remaining. So now I think I'm going to do race strategy. Whew. Oh dang. Yeah. Gotcha. Right. So I can't do race strategy, so I'm not really going to be giving more feedback for my team than I've already done. I have to qualify. Wow.
Don't worry about tyres, just give it everything. In this test, we want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's pace.
So one reason you might deviate from the line is for overtaking purposes, for example. Hey jerk. Hey jerk.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data without...
There you go. There you go. And see, that took more time than it actually was subjectively, so I think, yeah, or basically.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:37.4.
Estimated qualifying position. Dang. Well, exceeded the target, so let's just get to the race. Rolling out the clock. Yeah, 355 out of 625 resource points. So that's an example of how cool I'm doing, because I'm a cool guy. And this XP is strictly for Podium Pass.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Davidson, Bottas, and Sebastian Vettel. What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here, though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
This is how you can tell I'm playing on casual. Estimated qualifying position 15th, and then I actually ended up in pole position. What? So yeah, I'm starting at the front of the pack. There will be safety cars in this, which requires forming up, and as you can tell by doing the flying lap, well, flying lap during the practice programs are just whatever it is, but F1 itself actually starts with a rolling start, so you actually get a formation lap. You are not allowed to overtake any other drivers from the start of the race after you get your tires rolling, and then after completing that entire lap, then the race begins, and you got to complete however many laps it takes to finish the race. So I think this is a 16 lap course, but I'm probably terribly wrong, and maybe we'll get feedback on that. Hey, what's the password? Shit, are you on the Wi-Fi? Oh well. And we can do more practices. Oh, that was the practicing qualifier. And yeah, the qualifying race itself is just one shot, and the race will be 14 laps. So, that was the daytime practice. I can do more practice. Simulate session. Right. Yeah, let's just simulate that one. Choosing to simulate skips, and while you still earn rewards for simulating practice, you'll receive less than you could potentially earn. Okay. Yeah, so that's part of how this game breaks down. Yeah, so as I said, I hadn't gotten into race strategy, or the tire management, or ERS, where ERS is the energy recovery system. That's like one of the forms of boost, and depending on exactly how your power unit's configured, you either accumulate it from your turbo or regenerate from your braking, because it's basically an electric motor that will give you that speed to overtake drivers. And as you may have heard during the practice programs, there's also DRS. That's sections of the track where you're allowed to engage your drag reduction system, which is modifying the flaps on your car to allow you to basically reduce your aerodynamic drag and get that additional speed on the straightaways for the straightaways that are on the course. Like, obviously, curvy courses are going to have shorter straightaways, and you don't want to be goosing your speed right into the tightest turn on the track. So, yeah, this game be crazy. And there's day, night, and weather, and given the emphasis on your chassis maintaining repairs, I haven't done any pit stops yet or know how to manage those even. But you don't want to damage the car, because that's the car you're going to have through the season, give or take upgrades, and parts can fail. Like, there's a lot of complexity here. Yeah, let's do some more of this shenanigans. Maybe I'll simulate P3 and then go through the qualifier, but so I have a second shot at some of these, maybe. But yeah, let's go into the Energy Recovery System Management Program. Driver's ability to conserve harvested energy and deploy it as effectively as possible during the lap in order to achieve competitive pace. Hey, we got our practice timer counting down again. Tactical use of the overtake mode can give maximum power and thus performance, but be wary of using it too frequently. Cool. So yeah, we can be tweaking this. I am totally fine just taking the recommended tire compound, because, I mean, I've still got to do tire management for this. But yeah, actual F1 does have up to 3 practice races. than the qualifier on every race weekend. So like,
This is the
there's as
ERS
much
management
complexity
test.
to the full.
Hit the target time whilst managing your battery charge. The more efficiently you use energy throughout the lap, the higher you will score. Use your overtake button for maximum power, but remember, that will drain energy rapidly.
Okay, I need to double check a couple things. And in fact, I'm also going to take a bio break here, so that concludes what I've shared so far.